Welcome, everybody. We are so grateful that you're here with us tonight. I am Sandy Scheinbaum. I'm founder and CEO of Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. And we also have our co-founder, Elise Wagner, with us, and a student, Diane Dossier, as well as two members of our team who just do a wonderful job supporting us with operations and tech and anything else that we need. So let me tell you what we're going to be covering. So I'm going to tell you a little more about Elise and about me and how we came together. And you're going to hear from members of our faculty, our leadership team. You're going to talk with Diane, our student, and then you will have questions and we're going to answer all of them when there's a Facebook Live tomorrow, and you can also ask them through the YouTube where this is being broadcast to. So we didn't always work with Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. Personally, I had a career as a special education teacher. Then I was a clinical psychologist for many years. And it was a long, winding path to get to FMCA. And sometimes that path was filled with things that weren't always successful. So this is a picture of me with the TV show that I was doing, Feed Your Mind Wellness with Dr. Sandy, which had, I have to tell you, less viewers than the proceedings of the local school board. It was on local public access, and I was really proud. This was going to be a great way to give timely health information, and I had ideas for interviews. And here I'm with Marion Thompson, who was one of the founders of La Leche. So it was a wonderful show, probably seen by about 3 people. But the idea was you will learn, if you're with FMCA, to use your strengths as opposed to focusing on your failures, on your deficits, on being stuck. Well, how can we get unstuck? How can we move forward? How can we keep going? And fortunately, it was around that time that Elise came into my life, and we had the same values, the same mission, the same purpose, and we really hit it off. And so we started to work together, and we were blending this combination of food as medicine. And I had been trained in functional medicine as a functional medicine certified practitioner, but I was educating people about functional medicine approach while we were trying many different things. And here we are with some of them. So we had an idea that we would go to a local grocery store and we would do cooking demonstrations. And what we're not seeing in that picture that's in front of you is that there aren't very many people, and that you could see there's a woman, maybe her daughter, and so people brought their kids, and that filled up the seats, but there were rows and rows of empty seats behind. So it wasn't exactly we were going out to thousands of people, but we were making an impact with those who we were interacting with, and we had a lot of fun doing it, and we were using our signature strengths, creativity. What the program is really based on using your core strengths. Another venture that we tried that didn't go too far was venture into corporate wellness, where we would go out to local companies. But we quickly found, there we are at a big event promoting our company at the time was called Feed Your Mind Wellness, and super excited about doing that. But we found that we wanted to have an impact that would be larger than just the local community. So we decided that we would pitch an idea to the Institute for Functional Medicine. Here we are with, this is from one of the first graduations we had, with many of the faculty and top leaders from IFM. And we pitched this idea to them, but we had no idea if this was going to catch on. So here is Christy Hughes talking about her experience when we came to IFM.
It was actually a few years ago that Dr. Patrick Hanaway and Dan Lukaser, Lori Hoffman, and I were sitting in this intensive drill down workshop in Chicago, and we were told that these two lovely ladies were going to show up and pitch this idea to us in the medical education management department. And we sat down and we listened to this vision. And Sandy and Elise unpacked this idea in which they were going to fill this huge gap that was present in our functional medicine market. And they did a beautiful job giving us their overview, and they walked out the door and we all were like, interesting. How are we going to get this one off the floor? How's this going to work out? And so we poked a lot of holes in their ideas. A lot of holes. Well, what about this? And what about that? And how are you going to make this happen? And who's your market? And how are they going to get out there? And how are they going to be trained? And what is going to be the system that they learn on? And what's the format? And what kind of experience do you have in online learning? And I can say after the last few years of working with this team, it has been the most remarkable experience to watch their passion and their vision cultivate this incredible support team all around them. The right people showed up at all the right times. The development of their organization, the support, their family members, friends, and then all of our physicians and educators started to fall into line. And as we would reach out and we would ask the educators, would you be interested in participating in this program? And they would hear what it was that was going to happen. They would light up and they would get it instantly, thrilled that this gap was going to be finally filled. So it was a birth. It truly has been a birth, getting to watch the development of this course take place. Not only did they do everything they told us that they were going to do, they have far surpassed any of our expectations. The quality of the program is remarkable. The technology, the tools, the people, the partnership, the community has been an amazing thing to watch grow. And getting to meet so many of the coaches over the course of the last year has been remarkable because every one of you smiles so much that it looks like your cheeks must hurt. You're so happy to be doing what you're doing. And I have to say that we at IFM, and I would represent the functional medicine docs in the field, we need you. There's no other way to put it. We absolutely need you. You will hear our educators from the podium speak over and over again about the need, the absolute need for them to have a coach in the office. Because what we have time to do is prescribe, make decisions, hand off. But we don't have time to teach them what those tools are about. We don't have time to sit down and say, well, tell me about your obstacles. And is this food plan going to help you meet your goals? You are fulfilling one of the most important gaps we have in the functional medicine field right now. So I want to tell you that having been on the teaching side of this program, on the curricular development side, this program has gone through beautiful transformations, since it started. And being on both sides of the experience, I can say it's transformative. There's no other word. Coaching, being coached, being asked to stop and pause, be mindful, reset your goals, and then check in. Are you there? And you chose coaching. It's because it's a part of Ikigai. So Ikigai is the Japanese word that translates into that which your life is worth living for. That which gets you out of bed in the morning. How many of you could say that coaching and changing people's lives is a part of your Ikigai? I love that this program helps to heal and transform the coach in the process of being able to help others do that same thing. So I would humbly say in front of you, you need each other too. You will always benefit from a coach. These relationships that you have brought forth over this year, they're going to last. Our functional medicine relationships, the practitioners who have met at our IFM events, we're a tribe as well. And I've had the privilege of being around IFM since 1999. And what I have watched is little pods and little tribes form all around the world, all centered around functional medicine. And you will bring a whole nother tribe, to the stage. And I mean the stage of life. So I thank you for your passion, your commitment, your excitement. I thank the many faculty who have gone through the process of helping us take their language. And boy, we have to tell you, they love teaching the high science. They love the pathways and they love the physiology. And oh, we really had to work with and groom some of these faculty to bring this down to the level of communications that patients can understand. Because physicians do not always do the best job educating patients. And that is your role. Coaches are the solution. You are our solution. You are our functional medicine solution on our collaborative care team.
So that was Christy Hughes. She is the Director of Medical Education for the Institute for Functional Medicine. She is on our core faculty, our board of advisors. She has been very instrumental, as she said, in helping us plan the curriculum. But more importantly, she is really connected to our community, and she has really seen the program grow, and she knows firsthand the excitement that all the functional medicine doctors have about our students and our graduates. The one who shouted out when she said, "We need you," there was a badly, that was Tom O'Brien, who is in the audience. So what is this functional medicine? So for those of you who may not know, it's not a way of practicing medicine. It's a way of thinking about who we are, what we're made of internally. We're a system. It's a big matrix. It's a systems-based approach, and it dials down to what are the root causes. So rather than looking at a symptom or a disease in isolation and looking how to treat it, really looks at why is this person having this symptom at this particular time? What's the underlying cause? What's going on? Could it be inflammation, for example? And then once that answer is found, addressing that underlying cause, typically by prioritizing diet and lifestyle changes, not being opposed to use of supplements or even medication if warranted. So this is the model that you will be learning. You'll be learning the basic principles of functional medicine. Well, you may be wondering, though, well, then how are we different from IFM's program? Well, we're closely aligned, as Christy said, and our content is including all of the IFM content, but in a different perspective. It's a perspective that's meant for coaches, but it is taught by the IFM faculty. But when Christy talked about, they're like to be teaching way, way up here, well, we've coached them to be explaining things as they would explain to one of their patients, because that's the role of a coach who may have a client ask them, well, what does it mean to have a leaky gut? And so our faculty explains it in a way that would be very impactful for clients. So how IFM and FMCA differ is that we are focused a lot on positive psychology. So that's the element that we bring in. So we're teaching functional medicine principles, but we're focusing on positive psychology as the basis for behavior change. How do you help people become inspired and motivated? So IFM's training is really geared toward medical practitioners, where there's a lot of focus on what labs to order, often even what medication to prescribe or what supplement. So why should we be training coaches in functional medicine? Well, doctors need you. They need coaches. And this is a very powerful partnership. Functional medicine doctors pairing with coaches. And they're well suited to help clients to address what's called the modifiable lifestyle factors. So coaches inspire, they educate, they help clients feel empowered to be the CEOs of their own health. So let's hear it from Dr. Tom O'Brien.
What Christy talked about a few minutes ago comes from Samurai. And it's a Samurai code, that which your life is meant to do. And I watched each of you stand up with the pride in your face and the spark in your eye. It's like, yes, yes. So I want to give you a little direction for that spark. First, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad you are boots on the ground. We have the best ideas, Christy, Tom, me, Patrick, all of the functional medicine practitioners. We believe that we've got the best in the world to tell patients to get well, to enhance the quality of their lives. And we suck at telling them how to do it. It's not our skill set. You are boots on the ground. You are the everyday boots on the ground that will take these principles that Jeff Bland initiated for all of us and said, hey, wake up, world. And we listened and are trying to help carry that message out. You're the ones that carry it to the general public. Jeff could carry it, and some of us could understand it after we read it 3 or 4 times, right? And we kind of get it, and then we try to process it in our own minds. But you're the ones who will carry it to the everyday person.
So that's Dr. Tom O'Brien, who was speaking at one of our live conferences, and he is also a member of our faculty. So we are really all about students and graduates. So we love our community. And I would say that we get to know, as speaking for myself, and Elise can talk with this as well, that we really appreciate everyone who comes to us, and we treat you like you're our friends, our family, we really respect you. And this is a particular example where we have students who are coming up on stage at a live conference talking about the many inspiring things that they are doing. Our students are creative, they are passionate, as you heard Christy and Tom say, that look in their eyes, the pride to be a functional medicine health coach. They want to serve. Elise, do you have anything that you would like to share as well on that?
Hi, everyone. I just want to second what Sandy is saying, is the passion and the creativity that shines through everyone who comes to this program, their visions for how they see functional medicine, health coaching, transforming their communities. Our admissions team, they have calls every single day. They get to hear these amazing stories. And these people going out and educating and supporting and really providing the space for the communities that they live in for them to transform their health. It's mind-blowing, and it's very, very heartwarming to hear and to see that. So we're so, so grateful, because this is something that Sandy and I have, we wanted to do in our community. We started doing it, and it's just amazing to see how this is unfolding all over the country and all over the world. So.
Absolutely. And here we have Jason is talking about his program. He was a high school teacher who started an incredible program teaching functional medicine principles in his health class. And it really caught on, and he's now replicating that model. And then Ashley, who is working with functional medicine doctor, is talking about her practice. So we follow, we after graduation, we want people to stay with us, so as part of our community. So we think that's one of the ways it's different from other programs, our passion. Formally, we're the only coaching program in collaboration with the Institute for Functional Medicine. We are the global leaders in functional medicine. We started it, and we are innovative and continuing to have new ideas for growth as ways to serve our students and our graduates. And we created this operating system, the merger of functional medicine principles and positive psychology principles. That did not exist before. This was our creation. So what is the training format? We offer webinars, interviews with faculty, a lot of different ways to learn. There's discussions with fellow students. We have Ask the Experts. These are calls where people write in questions of many on our faculty. One of the things we do that we also think is unique, in fact, it is unique, and that is we have a company of professional actors who play clients, and we film them with faculty and with an actress playing a coach, where we show what to do, what not to do. And it's a whole series where you really get to learn the story of the client. These are improv actors who are playing these roles. And it's a way that you can see it, because it's one thing to have a webinar talking about coaching principles, but then what does it look like in action? So that's why we're committed. We have a number of these sessions that we follow. And we also have an apprenticeship through our Functional Medicine Coaching Center, because a mission there is to serve people who normally would not have access to a health coach. So we have very affordable coaching for $10 a session, where they can work with an apprentice, which would be you if you join us, and you would be doing an apprenticeship for 6 months where you would work with actual clients to get experience. You meet twice a month in supervision groups. And we also have the opportunity for new students to experience being a coach, because we realize everybody really needs a coach. And you heard Christy talk about that. In fact, she and the other IFM members of the leadership team and the whole IFM staff had a health boost program where they went through our coaching center. And so they all got coaches. All of our new students have sessions with a current student. That is a requirement, because it's a way to not only experience being coached, but also to work on your own issues, which often have to do with things like time management, for example. So we also have quizzes on many different ways that we assess learning, practical skills assessment, particularly. We're really focused on that, making sure that when you leave us, you are competent to be a coach. So the interaction is online, but it feels live. Through the discussions, through the many Zoom meetings that we have, the online conferences where everybody shares their webcam, meets with their course facilitator. You're in cohort groups, so it might be a size like you see in the picture. You're meeting with fellow students, and you can pick which group to be in based on what day and time zone works for you. And you stay with this small group throughout the year. And people really bond. In fact, the last session feels like the last day of camp, that some people report, like everybody's in tears and virtually hugging, and hard to say goodbye. So people get very close, and it feels like it's real. We do have a live conference, which is what you're seeing in the picture, but most students say that it really feels very intimate. And we like to, Elise and I, want to be very close and engage with students. I have office hours twice a week where people can come in. It's just a drop in, and you can ask me anything. You can provide feedback. And I love those sessions. And I have a notepad next to my desk, and I'm always writing down what people suggest or doing my best to answer questions. Elise also is focused a lot on engaging. We are always approachable with engaging with students. Do you want to say something as well, Elise, about how our team engages with students, our student feedback, our support?
Yeah, so we take that as a huge priority. We want to hear what you're needing, what you're seeing could be different, and really meeting your needs. And that's really how we started this program. We're not stuck in a certain way or pattern. We certainly have our vision and our goals and things like that, but we're always open to listen and to continue growing. And that's really embodying that whole coach approach. And again, we have an amazing admissions team, our entire team. We're super interactive. We want to know what's going on and kind of have a pulse and everything, so we can just be there to really create a supportive network. And that's what we've been able to see just by being available and being here to listen. So it's pretty amazing.
I was at a conference this past weekend, and someone who was giving a talk on building a business, which is, by the way, is something that we really will be focusing on with you. So it's not just the coaching principles and functional medicine principles, but it's also the business side of it. So everything that I learned when I'm at a conference, I bring back to you. And someone had said something that it really resonated. They said, don't love your program, love your customer. And I wrote that down and I thought, yes, that is what we've been doing from the time we started FMCA. Our program is changeable, and it's not the program. We love you. We love our community, and we'll do whatever we can to make this a program that has value to you. So you might be wondering about the workload. Well, again, going on the theme of really valuing you as a student, we really try to make it manageable, accessible. You will hear me say over and over again, you're adult learners. Therefore, you design what works for you. If something's not working, you say, hey, I need extra time. Hey, I'd rather do it this way. We like creativity and people who come with a proposal for how they want to navigate through the program. And again, this content, so people are asking us all the time, how many hours a week? It's very hard to put a number on it because the number we picked tends to be an average, but it's all over the place. We have students who say they can get it all in 10 hours a week. We have others, because of how they learn or how they're choosing to learn and underline everything and listen to everything 3 times, it might take even more than 20 hours. But this tends to be an average. But we're very flexible. If you need more time, we'll happily grant that. So Diane, would you like to comment on your experience with the program?
Sure. So I've actually been a student since August, and I will say, everything they're talking about, I just loved that speech from Christy. I have to say, she's probably one of my favorite. When we go through the module, she's actually one of the teachers in the modules, and she's my absolute favorite. So you can see her passion, you can see her enthusiasm and her belief in all of this, and it motivates and inspires for sure. But as far as the content and different things, the beauty of this program actually is about flexibility. You do have reading, you do have online course, you have to listen to webinars, but you have access, whether it's on your computer at home, you can actually take it from your phone. There's a lot of flexibility with the program that they have and the platform that they're using. And I find that, it's quite easy. I've reached out to a number of my peer students and got ideas. And I think that's the best way to look at this, what's working for you. That actually was one of the first seminars that we went to, or open discussions, was how does the existing students manage their time? And that was tremendously helpful. So you're right. I think sometimes it's 10 hours, sometimes it could be 25. But just know that it's very, very flexible, and it's your pace, and it's certainly something that you can manage on your schedule. It's not dictated to you. And I think that really is the beauty of this program.
Thank you. Appreciate your support. And also, I loved hearing how you got a lot of good tips from your fellow students. And that's what we hear a lot. And so you manage your time, and you would say, okay, well, these are busy weeks at work or with my kids, or I'm going on vacation. So I'll plan, these are the days I'm going to work, or often we'll do things while you're driving, for example. You can listen to some things. So that's great. So thank you, Diane. I appreciate those comments.
Sure.
So we'll talk a little bit about the curriculum. So we blend these areas: positive psychology, functional nutrition, psychology of eating, mind-body medicine, and functional medicine. So within each module, which starts every month, there's a new module, and these are the topics. These are the broad topics, and then we'll have specific content around each of these. And people tend to have favorites. So there's some people really love the functional medicine piece, and others may find that a little bit more challenging. Most people tend to really like the positive psychology aspect of it, or the mind-body medicine. We also teach all of the food plans that IFM has developed as part of functional medicine, but it's not just about nutrition. It's really the psychology of eating, why you eat, what you eat, and we include that as well. Diane, do you have anything else that you'd like to share? Any favorites so far in terms of the areas that you've been learning about?
Well, you had mentioned earlier, I think it was actually Christy that said something about how the student goes through the program and actually is a coach to themselves. There is so much learning and healing in this process as a person, in your interpersonal skills and different things that you're learning. So it's not just a benefit to learn this and become a health coach, but it really does help you in everyday life, whether it's your family, interacting with children and all facets of life. So my favorite so far is probably the positive psychology. I think that really, has resonated, and I do find that I'm treating people differently and looking for different things. So and because it is focused on the positive, it makes it that much more, I guess, enjoyable. You're conscious of interacting with people. And I think that's, really been one of the best benefits that I've gotten so far.
Thank you. And that is about strengths, which we will be talking about. So we are very pleased that we have somebody new who has joined us this fall, and we're introducing Dr. Joel Evans, and we'll let him, he recorded an introduction for you.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Joel Evans, and I'm Director of Curriculum Development for FMCA, and I am thrilled to talk to you to tell you how excited I am about this content, this curriculum, and this institution. As you know, I'm a member of the senior faculty of IFM. I'm in charge of the hormone module, and I'm very much interested in promoting functional medicine as the best way to take care of people. And training functional medicine doctors is certainly an important piece of that, but it's clearly not enough. And there really is a gap between what doctors tell patients and then the skills that the doctors have in order to help the patients institute their treatment plan. And that's where the coach comes in, because you are the most important professional to actually work on showing patients how they can implement this treatment plan. You talk to patients about what it is they do and don't like about the treatment plan, and go back to the doctor and say, maybe we ought to change something. Maybe you're doing a detox, for example, and the patient really can't give up their coffee. So they don't want to do the detox, but maybe if we let them have a little bit of coffee, then they'll do the detox. So your role, so many different ways that you can interact and help patients. And I'm thrilled that you're considering this as a profession. Thanks.
So again, that was Dr. Joel Evans. And now you're going to hear from Monique Class, who is our Director of Coaching Development.
I'm Monique Class, and I'm Director of Curriculum Development for the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy. And I'm so excited to be speaking to you today. I've been in functional medicine for 15 years. I'm senior faculty member for the Institute for Functional Medicine, and I've been in my own practice. And I can tell you, we can't do what we need to do without really great coaches supporting us. So the most wonderful thing about this curriculum is it integrates all different aspects of coaching and functional medicine, from positive psychology to really great coaching skills, using motivational interviewing, using mind-body medicine, and using the best of functional medicine fused together in a curriculum that gives you not only the education, but the hands-on experience to come out and work for functional medicine doctors and be part of an exciting collaborative care team. And this is where medicine is going. This is the future of medicine, and this is medicine. And so you're going to be part of the experience and part of the movement. And I would tell you the linchpin to this happening, because as clinicians, we know where we want to go, but without a really great coach helping the client negotiate at their pace what needs to happen, without those boots on the ground, all of our great ideas and all of
Sorry about that.
I'm Monique class, and I'm so coaching.
I'm sorry, we seem to have a technical glitch. She was just saying that the importance of coaches. So sorry about that. I don't know how that happened, but we're just gonna go on just rather than try and go back and catch her last words. So positive psychology and functional medicine both address what we need to thrive, and both are offering this roadmap for how we can live life to the fullest. And I also want to comment on what just happened with our technical glitch. So we do our best with our technology, but every once in a while, often we have issues that come up. So it would be we're doing a webinar and somebody loses internet connection, or we have students are trying to get on to coordinate, to connect themselves with their cohort groups, for example, and they have some technical issue. We are blessed that we have a lot of technical support, and probably 99% of the time everything works well, but very often there are things we can't control. And so, which is what just happened, which is advancing the slides. So, and that's where the character strengths come in. And we really focus a lot on forgiveness, particularly forgiving ourselves, because my tendency would be to go back and think, oh, how did I screw that up? Was it my fault for what happened? And learning how to forgive others, forgive yourself is a huge part of what you'll learn in positive psychology. So living life to the fullest by focusing on what's right with you, not what's wrong. So I'm going to focus on what's right with this webinar, not hyper focus on the glitch of Monique's her talk. So we talk about PERMA. Those are 5 pillars of well-being. This is what makes up a meaningful life. Positive emotions, being engaged in something that you enjoy, good relationships, having a sense of greater meaning and purpose, and some type of achievement. But how do you get there? You get there through your character strengths. And one of my character strengths happen to be zest and creativity, appreciation of beauty. And one of the things I appreciate is the beauty of dance. And so I'm passionate about dancing. I take a ballet class, as you'll see here, and tap, and yoga. I have, no matter what happens, I start my day with yoga. I also like movement. You may notice why it looks like my head is touching the ceiling in this little thumbnail. It's because I'm standing and I have a treadmill desk. So I do everything either standing or walking on my treadmill, because I just happen to like to move. So I also love cooking, and particularly cooking for celebrations, for family, for holiday, and setting a table. And again, that's where my appreciation of beauty. I love to find creative ways to set a table, for example, and blend many things that come from my mother-in-law's place settings, for example. And cooking, that happens to be my chopped liver recipe. And you'll notice there's a lot of parsley there. And so I'm trying to have some detoxifying foods to blend in with any fears that the liver may be carrying some toxins in them. So trying to blend a little bit of healthy, and that is gluten-free, by the way, and pasture raised. So I also, of course, love my family, and it's family involvement. My husband is always off doing errands for FMCA. My daughters, you will meet both of them. Carly, the taller one on the end, she's younger but taller. She's our director of curriculum operations, and you will probably interact with her. Laura plays Coach Laura. She's an actress, and so she's very involved. She also went through the program and became a coach, but she is primarily an actress, and she is our casting director for our actors and pulls in a lot of people for that. But she also plays the role very frequently in a lot of our videos. And this was one of the happiest days. So there are a few times when I really immerse myself in one of the most wonderful experiences was when Carly said yes to the dress. And I always just cherish those times, particularly being with my girls. And wedding planning and shopping was certainly one of the high points this year. And Elise has many things as well that she's passionate about. And people.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks again. So I'm Elise, co-founder of FMCA. And just a little bit of background with my story. My journey to health started when I was quite young, around 13 years of age. And I figured out that food is medicine at that point in my life. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, what this is gold. How come more people don't know about this? And I want to help people transform their health through food. Fast forward into my undergrad, I went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I was getting a degree in dietetics and nutrition. And I thought, oh, this is not the way that I transform, my health. And I realized then that health is so much more than just food. It's really about your behaviors and your belief systems and bringing in a positive mindset. And so from there on, I sought out and found a school actually on the West Coast. Some of you might have heard of it. It's called Bastyr University, and they specialize in naturopathy. But I went to school and received a double master's in nutrition and clinical health psychology. So pairing these two together. So you'll see up in the top right-hand corner, one of my huge passions is travel. And I love traveling to the Pacific Northwest. So that is called Crescent Lake, and that's on the outer peninsula of Washington State. And while I was in Washington, I was in my second year of grad school, and I got really, really sick. And I should back up and also share that my three of my top strengths are creativity, hope, and perseverance. And I remember when I was sick, I went and saw probably about 8 to 10 different types of practitioners. And I felt like I was in the mecca of holistic health, being in Seattle and at Bastyr. And it wasn't until I almost gave up, and I said, you know what, I'm going to give this one more chance. And I went and saw a functional medicine practitioner, and he was actually able to diagnose me with celiac disease. And at that moment, there's a wave. Many of you this may resonate with you. Many of you find functional medicine because of, your own health journeys. And at that moment, I felt a wave of, relief and frustration as well, thinking, how am I going to do this? This is a whole lifestyle change. What I really needed was a coach, a health coach, someone to see me, see my blind spots, help me with my goals, help me advance where I wanted to get to, in a more timely manner. But I learned the hard way, which was okay because I learned a lot of lessons along the way. Which brings me to one of my favorite passions is smoothies. And I help to heal myself through my nutrition education and positive psychology with whole real foods and a positive attitude. And so I love to make smoothies. And then the photo on the lower left is me and my husband, Rob, and my little baby, firstborn, and her name is Shay, and she's 5 months. So it's been an amazing journey so far, but it's even more amazing when you can be in such a healthy space. And so we can move to the next slide. And just to pause for a second, I had started my own company, and I really was thinking like, gosh, what do I do in this? I'm blending this nutrition and the psychology together, but I really want to make a bigger impact. And I had been working at a eating disorders clinic overnights so I could support my private practice in Seattle. Something's not working here, And I was researching functional medicine and I came across Sandy. And I was thinking about moving back to Chicago, which is where we're both from. And I messaged her and she said, yeah, when you come back to Chicago, let's meet. And we did. And so we combined forces. Like she said, we had similar visions and passions and values. And slowly but surely, we started combining the nutrition aspect, the functional medicine, the positive psychology, and the coaching part of it. And so we were able to, all of this started to just unfold quite organically. And so you'll see there's a picture of my desk, and I absolutely love what we do. And I love waking up and going to work in the morning. It's the most fulfilling thing ever to see that people are becoming healthy. So I absolutely love it. A couple other things that I love are my hemp milk lattes up there. That's in Seattle. And then I love cooking. I have a passion for just cooking. I try to play a game with myself every day. Not really a game, but just, how can I get as much green and phytonutrients into me on a daily basis? And so those are just a couple of ways that I bring my creativity into my everyday life. And then there I am at, took a trip recently to Ohio. They've got a market, and there's Shay and I, and we're just hanging out by their organic stand. And let's see, I think there's one more. One of the biggest things that I really am passionate about is staying grounded, staying true to who we are, and remembering where we started off, and how just keeping that vision and that mission front and center. And so every single morning, even with Shay, we wake up and we go to the mat, or whether it's sitting in bed, whatever it is, but we ground ourselves and we do a little meditation. And so that's just me meditating at one of actually Sandy's favorite places as well, Botanic Gardens here in Chicago. And then I love doing yoga and any kind of movement that is grounding. So thank you all for being here. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for letting me share.
I didn't know, Elise, that you were going to have this picture from the Chicago Botanic Garden. And I think this was meant to be, because I showed Carly in her saying yes to the dress. And this is where she wore the dress when she got married. We held her wedding here. This was the very area where we had the cocktail hour. So that was unplanned. But being outdoors, nature bathing is so wonderful. So again, it's strength spotting, and here's more strength spotting. These are some of the members of our team doing some of the things they love to do, and they are really come together as a community, even though we have team members from all over the country and the world, really. But everybody is really close. And our values, our company core values, have to do with the character strengths. So we support people acting as a team, showing leadership, showing creativity, and always in a positive way without introducing what's wrong with somebody. We focus on what's right with them. And this is one of our classes. This was our, they're at a live conference, and everybody, as we said earlier, seems to really bonds and gets to know each other, even though they may not all meet live. We have a live event, but so everything is really online, but it becomes quite intimate. We do have, though, every opportunity we can when we are at an event. This was at an event in Dallas that IFM had a conference. And so we had some activities going on. We have meetup groups. But most of the time, our school is online. And where do we hold that? Well, we have something in common with these universities. Northwestern, which happens to be my alma mater, Michigan, and Harvard all use Canvas. This is our learning management system. Think of it like the physical building. This is where everything is housed. So you get a login, you get a password, and you come into the building. As you enter the building, you will see this directory, and it'll direct you to modules where we hold the classes. That's where you find all your webinars and interviews. But we also have discussion boards. We have resources. We have a huge resource library, which includes the toolkit from IFM, many of their relevant materials. We also have a student cafe, which is where students can come in and they can talk about anything and everything, and announcements. So everyone gets an email through Canvas that is an in-house communication system where you can talk to us, you can talk to classmates. You can troubleshoot if you have any technical issues. Canvas offers 24/7 support where you can get on a call with somebody, they answer quickly if you have any technical challenges navigating Canvas. So a question we're often asked is, well, what about prerequisites? Well, we have a requirement for an associate's degree or higher, but training in healthcare is not required, or health or wellness background, because our students have diverse backgrounds and you don't need to be coming from a healthcare or wellness field to be a good coach. What you need is a desire to serve, a passion for serving others. So this is the email if you would like to join, to have your questions answered. It's admissions@functionalmedicinecoaching.org. So who does enroll? You can see here a representative sample, but by no means is this all-inclusive. Ranges from social workers, psychologists, to Pilates instructors, yoga, dietitians, previous health coaches. We have many people who've gone through other programs and now they want to continue their learning. We have a lot of nurses, we have some doctors, we have physical therapists, we have many people who are career changers, or people who have not been in the workplace for years and are coming back. And age does not have to be a barrier. You know, I started FMCA and I was 65 when I started, and at least it would have been my daughter. But I was not ready to retire. So it was either, learn how to play cards and retire, or I had worked for so many years as a clinical psychologist, and I just wanted to take all the things that I had practiced as a psychologist and learned, all those different pieces of positive psychology and mind-body medicine, and teach that because my original background was as a teacher. And so I love to teach, and I love to create educational programs. And so rather than retiring, I founded this business. And I love meeting with students again at meetups. Here's another meetup from the New York area. We are having another one. If any of you are listening and you're in Chicago, we have a meet and greet coming up next Monday evening. That is coming up in November, and there will be others as well. What about the credentials? Well, you'll get a certificate of completion to be a functional medicine certified health coach. But more importantly, we are an approved transition program for this new international consortium for health and wellness coaching. And they have a certification exam that's administered by the National Board of Medical Examiners, which was really a big deal to be recognized by that esteemed association. And our graduates can sit for that exam. And that will mean when they pass, they will be board certified health and wellness coaches. And this is going to be very important for the future of health coaching. It's really putting health coaching on the map, and major employers, insurance companies are taking notice, and they're going to this board and asking to see the list of graduates. So again, it's about you. It's about the community coming together and feeling like you belong now, as you heard Christy and Tom say. Oops. So I think I'm trying to advance our slide. There we go. Okay, so where can I find a job is a common question. So there's a spectrum of opportunities ranging from those who want to start their own practice, or maybe you already have a practice and you now want to just learn additional skills and you want to learn functional medicine principles. But as you heard Christy and Tom say, doctors need you. And you heard Dr. Evans say it as well. Functional medicine doctors are trained now through IFM to get a coach when they first start out practicing functional medicine. They're told, don't do it alone. You need a coach with you. You can also work for conventional medical practices, and many of our graduates have been successful in doing that, as well as working in corporate wellness. So we do, again, because we really are just want to serve you, and we're committed to helping our graduates thrive. IFM promotes coaches, as I'd said. They have specific practice implementation training where they are talking about hiring a coach. We have a job board on our website. We have a Find a Coach tool. So when you graduate, you will be listed there. And we also provide training in marketing, particularly how to talk to doctors, how to market yourself to a doctor. We have a special alumni membership where you will get personalized mentoring in the business of coaching and many other things as well. And we have some exciting new opportunities with James Maskell, pictured here. He has started New Health, and this is a new venture that is a membership model where those members are seeing a health coach first. We have a lot of opportunity here because that health coach needs to have a background in functional medicine and coaching. And so we're working very closely with this new organization to help them, as well as to support our graduates who will be applying there for jobs. This is all through the phone, so it is not a physical location. This is our live conference, our last one we had. This is Claire Cooper from Living Matrix, which is another IFM collaboration. And she is really digging into, this was an all-day workshop on the business of coaching. And we give you a lot of support, learning by looking at what others are doing. So this is James again, who is at one of our other live events with Patty Patak, who is a specialist in helping people build their businesses. And our student here who's pictured is what's called a hot seat. So she is talking about her concerns about going out as a graduate, and James and Patty are helping her to formulate a strategy, and everybody in the audience is learning right along with her. So we support our graduates in many ways. Those who are members of our graduate program have access to monthly webinars. We have mentoring not just on business, but on coaching, where you can come, I'm struggling with a client and what to do, and that's a support group. And we also have continuing access to the resource library for you when you graduate, and including IFM toolkit items. When they're updated, you will have the latest updates. So our graduates are in demand. And why? Because they speak the language of the doctors, which is the language of functional medicine. And we're committed, again, to pairing you. We have a director of alumni relations who helps people who come to her wanting to hire a graduate. And so we have a job board. There are job descriptions that go up very frequently that are offered to our graduates. We're international, so we're in over 30 countries, and that is growing. And we love our international community. And some of our most passionate graduates and students come from the international community. And we do our best to have some things translated if we can, but it is a growing movement, and we tend to grow further in this area. So we have a lot of exciting things in development as well. So learning doesn't stop with our core curriculum. We have a packed curriculum, and therefore we are developing short courses that are on topics we didn't quite get to during the year. The first one is men's health. We are very excited that we are having a course in reversing cognitive decline. This is going to be taught by Dr. Dale Bredesen. We have a partnership with his group. So this is something that they really wanted us to develop because they saw a need for doctors trained in the Bredesen protocol. This is a research-based, cutting-edge protocol. He currently has the best-selling book, The End of Alzheimer's. This is a protocol that will reverse early cognitive decline, early stage Alzheimer's. And so our course will teach this protocol to graduates so that they can partner with doctors who've had the training. We also are developing a specialty track on how to coach veterans and have a new initiative for vets to come into our program and have a specialty track for vets coaching other vets or students who may be interested in this population. And as I said, we have new collaborations with many different companies, organizations that want to work with our graduates. So this has been a pleasure and an honor for me to be here with you tonight. And I hope that this resonated with you. And if it does, please schedule time with our admissions team. And the email is admissions@functionalmedicinecoaching.org. And once again, I would like to thank Diane and Elise. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening to come hear this. Hopefully it resonates with you. If you have questions, we have an entire admissions team that is ready for you. I'm ready to answer your questions. And then if you'd like to join us, we will be live tomorrow on Facebook at 12 noon Central Standard Time. And you can just find us over at Functional Medicine Coaching, and we are happy to answer your questions. So again, admissions@functionalmedicinecoaching.org. You can actually set up an appointment to speak with one of our admissions team members. So thank you again so much.
And thank you, Diane. Grateful that you were here on the call tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's a great program.
Thank you. Well, bye, everybody.